it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today with project number 4 from Bargain Bead Box. We're still working on our Bargain Bead Box doings, but that's fine. So today we're going to be making this little bracelet. It has the moon focal, and we are going to be utilizing the ultimate paints for painting of the focal piece. So this is about the second time that I've used the ultimate paints. If you are not familiar, these were created by Colorful Soul, which is vintage. So we had some discussion about this on the morning coffee, but these are the new paints that are replacing the now no longer being produced patina paints, and I have used them one other time. Now we'll see how today goes. When I first used them, I was a little disappointed that they were kind of watery, but I also found that, okay, then you can build it up. So we'll see how it goes today. I will say that the first time I used them, I realized that you're not losing as much product as you are with the patina paints because they don't have such a quick dry down time. So when you put the paint into your little palette or whatever you're using, you're able to utilize it longer than it just drying up really fast when you're trying to paint with it. So that's good, but we'll see how today goes. I do have the, what is the name of this palette? I want to say it's the Woodsy palette. It's not Earth Tones. Sorry. I'm like, what is happening? Earth Tones. So there is kind of like a teal in here. So I'm going to utilize that for my bracelet. This is the design. Let's get on down to the mat. Get this party started. Alrighty, my party peeps, here we are on the mat. So this is the bracelet that we're going to make today. This is a little drawing that I did during the plan video. So as you can see, I have got my components that I'm going to need for this. I got some of here's the pendant, obviously. Here's the pendant, which I said we were going to patina paint the focal. And then these guys here, we have some of the like mermaid beads and some of the links. So I believe we'll just be capping and wire wrapping these guys, and then linking them to the little moon links right here for this. And I think we said when we made this that there would be we would need to adjust for sizing. So I'm planning to make mine an average 7. I am using a toggle clasp, which, to be honest with you, I can't remember if that came in the kit or not. I don't think it did. But anyway, so these are the components. It's just a few components that we'll be using to create this, which is nice because then you get some more stuff out of your Bargain Bead Box. So to start with the focal, we're just going to give it a little paint. And I'm going to be using the ultimate paints, as we discussed in the beginning of this video. I shook them all up off camera. So I'm going to be using this one here called Blue Fluorite. And I kind of want to do, let's do green, huh? I'm going to do a little green for the moon part. A little mixy mix. Yeah, because I have more, obviously, the earth tones, so I don't have a yellow, and I kind of wanted to make sure I'm just using these. So I'm going to do this blue and this green. This is called Moss, and this one is Blue Fluorite. So these are the two that I'm going to use. And then I'm in debate if I want to paint some of these other components since I'm going to be painting. No, I don't think I will. Will I? Debate. Maybe not the moons, but maybe no, you know what? I don't think I'm not gonna do it. You could, though. If you wanted to make it a little more cohesive, you could paint all of your components if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. Now, I will say, according to the labeling and from my first experience, there is a longer dry time. It takes longer for these ultimate paints to dry than a patina paint would. So that's how I'm going to do this first. I have an array of paintbrushes. And let's see. I'm going to start with this smallest paintbrush. And then I'll probably use this larger one here. And I'm going to start with the green. And I'm just going to go right in and I'm going to start painting this little guy. And I'm going to put the green on my moon. And maybe a little on the edge to kind of run them together a little bit, but not too much. And I'm going to go in with the blue while it's wet, and I'm going to kind of just get my colors running together here on the textured part of this little component. I'm going to zoom in a little more so you guys can see what I'm doing. And it's really not going to take much at all to really give this just a little pop of color, which is kind of nice because, you know, sometimes you just want a little pop of color. That's all you want. You don't want a whole bunch, just a little. So I am going to grab up a little more blue and go over that blue one more time because I really kind of want that blue to be the focal point of this and not the green, even though I put green in the middle. That's not the point. I just want it to be a little darker. So I'm just going over it again. And it's looking pretty good. Looks pretty good out of 10. Pretty good out of 10. So I'm going to rinse my brushes out. Or just put them in water, I guess, for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and transfer this over so I can put it aside and let it dry up while we complete the rest of the bracelet. So let's put that over here. So looking at the plan, it looks like the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cap my beads. I don't know how many I'm going to need for this because this is not really to size. So we really shouldn't need that many though, but I'm going to cap all these beads and wire wrap them for the time being. I'm going to put this over here. For the time being, I'm just going to cap these and get that going. In order to do that, I'm going to be using 20 gauge artistic wire. I figured since this is a bracelet, I would go with a little heavier gauge. You know, I live for a 22. Love it. Love it. Love it. Can't say enough good things about it. But today, I think because this is a bracelet, I do want to go for a little more of some stability. So I'm going to give this, I'm just going to get some off of here. If I let go, it's just going to go untangly crazy. So I'm just going to cut this off. And put this back in here. So FYI, I was able to get this roll of wire while I was in Arizona. I had went on a trip with my mom, and we had stopped off at Michael's, and they had these big rolls, the 1/4 pound at Michael's, and I think they were on a pretty good sale. So FYI on that. I don't know if they are here. I don't know if they are anymore. I'm just saying that's what I did. And there's a couple of ways you could even do this part. You could utilize your looper if you had one. I'm not going to do that today. I am just going to go ahead and do the wrapping. Don't mind all this with the band-aids. Just ignore that. Pretend that's not happening. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with my round nose plier and I'm going to create a loop. So I want my loops to be kind of small because I don't want them to be like overpowering in the design. So I'm just going to start my loop off here. And what I do when I'm making these is once I get to this point here, I'm going to take my thumbnail and I'm going to Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to focus. Hello? There we go. So once I have the loop created, I take my thumbnail right here and I kind of just make an indentation. It makes it kind of already look like a head pin, and I find that that is helpful for me. So then what I do is I'm going to wrap here. So now I am going to connect my beads with jump rings. If you were not going to connect with jump rings, you would want to wrap this onto your link. But I think for the bracelet, I want it to be able to have a lot of movement. And so I kind of think of jump rings as like a hinge, or you know, it just gives it a little more free-flowing movement than if you wire wrapped it straight on. But that is a design choice and is completely up to you. So just tucking that in. And then I'm going to go with my bead cap and my bead. And a bead cap. I'm bringing that down. And then I'm just going to wrap on top. Easy peasy. So there we go. And how I gauge this, what I do is, and this again is just my own personal preference, what I do is I'm going to go and put a little bit of space here between where I'm putting the round nose to make my bend away from the bead. It should be enough space so that when I bend to make the bend, the bottom of my plier is up against the bead pretty much. And that I'm going to have enough space to put my wraps there. That's kind of how I gauge it. I'm going to go over the top, let go of pressure, spin around to the other side, bring this around, and then this is how much space that I have. My camera will focus on it, maybe not. There we go. And then I'm just going to wrap. And as I wrap, it's going to bring that bead cap down, put it into place. Trim off the excess and straighten that. I always give this a straighten first because it will pull up a little bit of wire when you make it straight. And then I tuck in my tail. If I had too much tail there where it wouldn't tuck in appropriately, I would cut it off, but it looked pretty good. So there we go. So that's one. So now we need to do the others. And I'm going to do the same thing to those. All right, now that we are done and our little moon is done cooking, we should be ready to rock. So now all we got to do is connect these, and I'm going to use, let's see. Let me see if these ovals are big enough to connect the moon at least, but I think I will connect the others with little round ones, but let me see if these bad boys will work. So these look to be about an 8mm oval jump ring. And the reason I want to use them is because it's going to give me a little length here. I mean, you wouldn't have to. But let me check it out. Yeah, I think that's good. So connect the moon on each side. Let's see, do I want my moons to be going differently on this side? I think I do. Now basically, we're just working from the middle out. So I connected my moons so that when they're laying there, they're going different directions. That's good for me. Now for these other ones, because I am a little concerned about the length situation, I am going to connect with these smaller, teeny tiny round guys. Let's see what they can do. I hope these are not... I had gotten a package of bad jump rings a while back, and I didn't realize before I put them in my stash, so hopefully these ones look a little thicker, so they must be the gooder ones. The better ones. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to alternate moons. I want to make sure this moon is going the right direction. Making sure he's closed up. That one feels like one of those bad ones. Leave in the comment if that ever happens to you. You get some new components, you think they're the same, and then you're like, this is not the same. I had already put them into this little box, so, you know, things and stuff. Oh, someone had asked me where I get my little boxes for keeping my findings in. And I get them at Dollar Tree. A lot of times, these guys here, you can get them empty at Dollar Tree, and I utilize those for most things. Some other ones I've gotten from, like, I don't know if this one came from like Jesse James or it had components in it at one time, because they're not all the same size. But these larger ones that I get, these ones I get at Dollar Tree. That looks like one of those bad ones again. Let's see what we can get here. I think maybe they were just thinner. I don't know. They just were different. Something was awry. Nope, that's not right. I had it on there backwards. I thought, oh, I'll be cool and just put it on there the other way, but that's not the case. There we go. Get on there the right way, you. Okay, all moons are going in the appropriate direction. See, now, I'm not very good at this because I have a little wrist, but I'm thinking this is going to give us the length we need. We'll have to measure it when we're done. Otherwise, I think I'll just have to take one of them off so it's the right size, but we shall see. I do not know what Jefferson is doing upstairs, but he's he's doing something. I can hear a bunch of craziness going on. Sounds like Pop Rocks. Where's my other moon? Hello, wait a minute. Something has happened. Oh. Am I losing my mind? I think there's a real possibility I might be losing my mind right now. We don't have this is why I'm so crazy. Okay. So this is not supposed to be on here. So I've messed up the pattern or something. Something is wrong. Real live beading over here at Thunderhouse. Okay, this one goes over here, 2 for each side. Okay. No wonder it looks crazy. All right, we're back in business. No worries. No worries. Make sure this moon is going the right way. And then this guy. That looks better, doesn't it? No, I got this one on there upside down. Okay, well, no worries, we'll just flip him around. Okay, which way are you supposed to be up there? See how the star's on the top? The star's on the top, but the star's got to be going this way? Okay. Right? Yeah. Alright, try it again. We'll just try it again. That is the good thing about beading. You can always just try again. I like that. Alright. Okay, okay. Now we're getting now we're got it under control. Now all we gotta do is add our toggle clasp. And I think with that length we should be good to go. So let me get a small oval. I like an oval for the end part because number one, the end part's gonna get a lot of play. A lot of play time, a lot of messing with it, a lot of trying to put it on, a lot of stuff. Right? So I want there to be a thicker oval, a little more trustworthy in my opinion, down here. But also because I want to make sure that I'm giving enough length between the bead and the toggle part to get through the other side of the clasp. Because if I'm not, I may have to add another toggle down here. Most of the time, not a toggle, excuse me, a jump ring. Most of the time, I would add two there anyway, but since this is a pattern, I kind of don't want to unless I necessarily have to. So, let me see what I got. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So, what I'm talking about is once you have your bracelet together, you want to make sure that this part has enough space between the last bead and here to get in here without causing any havoc, which I believe this is going to be fine. Had there been havoc, you can always just add another jump ring here because it will allow the space. But also, this bead is pretty small, so it's going to go through this toggle, but like if you had a bigger bead here, it might stop it, and then you won't be able to comfortably get your clasp out, and that's never fun. So I think we got it going on. I think we got her going on. Let me find the bracelet sizer, and then we'll take a look at that. I found it. It didn't go too far. It was just on the other side of the desk. Okay, so now bracelet sizing. Oh, it's looking a lot bigger than I thought it was going to. Okay, it's an 8. It's an 8. Now, that can pose a problem. If you don't want it to be an 8, you want it to be a 7, let's see what we gotta do. Well, you could leave it an 8. or you could take out one component, maybe two, to make it a 7. Let's try this. I could never wear an 8. Not to say that there isn't size 8 bracelets out there. I mean size wrists, but my wrists are very small. I have a 6, so that's way too big for me. So let me try this. Woo! Oh, it's gonna be one of those days today, I can already tell. Okay, let's see this. Is this a 7? This is about a 7 1/4. So I think if you took out this other component, that would make it way too small, because then it would be like a 6 1/2. So that is our situation. I'm going to leave it at a 7 1/4. I think that's fine. It does not bother me that I think I might just add this bead as a, maybe not. You could add it as a charm if you wanted to. I don't think I will. But now, as you can see, it's shorter on one side. That doesn't bother me. I don't care about that kind of thing. If you do, then we might have a little bit of an issue. But let's try this on me. You'd either have to take another bead off. Here's a trick, just FYI, if you ever get into this situation. So here's the thing, because this is a toggle, so this is now basically like an average size, but because it's a toggle, you kind of want it to fit. Because like, yeah, I could wear this, it's fine. Like it's a big for me, it's big. I'd have to wear like a stretchy over the top. So if I was gonna wear this myself, I would probably take out this other bead to make it fit perfectly. I'll probably put it in my store though. So I'm going to leave it at a 7 1/4. But because it's a toggle, if I was to wear this, the likelihood of me losing it is high because it is not tight. And that gives this more option to do its little toggly thing, and I would lose it, which is, you know. Now if this was a lobster claw or an Old Faithful clasp, I would not really worry about it being loose like this, and I would probably wear it whatever. But because it's a toggle, this is where we lose jewelry. You want your toggles to fit pretty snugly, or at least where there's not a lot of slack, because you don't want it to fall off. Now, here's a trick if you're like, okay, Randy, I like this pattern. I want to keep the pattern. How can we fix it where it's still a 7? And we get the pattern. So here's what you can do. What you can do is you could add another, like if you wanted to, you'd have to remove this bead, but you need a little extra length in order to keep the, keep it, the pattern and the length. So what you could do is you could add a larger jump ring here. So instead of using a 4, maybe you use a 6. You're going to get more space that way. And you could probably do this pattern and have the same amount on each side with a 6, or with an oval jump ring, because that oval jump ring is going to give you more space. So that's always an option for you. I'm going to keep mine like this. I don't mind it. It's fine. All right, you guys. Well, whew, this has been a bracelet, let me tell you. I like it. I really like it a lot. I would probably add maybe a little charm right here, like a little bicone, just for funsies, but they did not provide us that, so I'm not going to, but I think it's super cute. So yeah, I hope you're all having a lovely, spectacular, amazing beading day, and if you're not, I hope you are now. Let me know if maybe you have some other tips and tricks that you have used to make space for yourself in pattern designs, or, you know, put it in the comments if you have anything helpful to add about, you know, adding space or subtracting space, whatever you got to do. But also let me know your thoughts on toggle clasps. Do you love them, hate them, could do without them, whatever? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to ring the bell so you know when I'm putting up new videos. Subscribe to my channel so you can find me on the internet again. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.